All right, today we're talking about Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. If you're into science fiction, war games, or genius kids who can basically outsmart anyone, then buckle up. This is a book that packs space battles, strategy, and a whole lot of psychological depth. So, Ender's Game, what's it about? We're in the future. Humanity's been through a devastating alien war with these bug-like aliens called the Formics, and they're terrified of another invasion. So, what's the plan? They decide to train children to be the ultimate military leaders. Yep, kids. Genius kids. And our main guy, Ender Wiggin, is the best of the best. Ender gets pulled into a military training program at battle school. Basically boot camp in space for the brightest young minds on Earth. It's brutal. It's cutthroat. And these kids are constantly pushed to their limits. And Ender? He's got to survive, adapt, and rise through the ranks. This is a kid who isn't just smart. He's like a military prodigy. He's calculating, he's intense, but he's still a kid. And that's where the book gets interesting. Ender's always walking this fine line between wanting to belong and needing to be better than everyone else just to survive. So what makes Ender such a compelling character? It's not just that he's brilliant. It's how he uses his intellect. He's constantly having to think on his feet, adapt, and sometimes be downright ruthless. And Card doesn't hold back in showing the toll it takes on him. Ender doesn't want to be a killer or a hero, he just wants to survive. And every time he's forced to make a brutal decision, you feel that weight right alongside him. It's like watching a child genius trapped in a game with the highest stakes imaginable. And speaking of games, this book is packed with intense, tactical battles, especially in the battle room. This zero-gravity arena where kids practice combat strategies, it's like every gamer's dream and nightmare combined. Watching Ender's strategies unfold as he figures out how to move, how to think in zero gravity, it's awesome. You can see why this book has been a huge influence on everything from sci-fi movies to video games. But it's not all action and laser guns. Ender's Game goes deep. It's not just about training a military leader. It's about breaking down a kid and reshaping him into something humanity thinks it needs. This book dives into isolation, manipulation, and the ethics of war. Ender's constantly facing this moral question. How far will I go to win? And should I even win if it means losing myself? The deeper you go into the story, the more you realize this isn't about winning battles. It's about shaping Ender into a weapon, no matter the emotional toll. Watching him wrestle with the balance between being compassionate and being ruthless is fascinating, especially when he starts questioning, am I a monster for doing what I have to do? Or am I the savior humanity needs? And what's even more chilling is how the adults, his mentors, his commanders, seem to strip him of his childhood, piece by piece, all in the name of survival. Ender's basically a pawn in their game, but he's also the most powerful piece on the board. It's like you're reading about a hero who's also a victim, and that dynamic is fascinating. You can't help but root for Ender, even when you're horrified by what he's being turned into. It makes you wonder, at what point does the cost of victory become too much to bear? And isn't that the core of truly great sci-fi? A protagonist who makes you reflect on the limits of morality, the price of greatness, and what it means to lose yourself in the process. That's why Ender's Game isn't just a gripping story. It's a haunting mirror for all of us. Card doesn't just give you a school in space. He gives you a whole universe. There's Earth, dealing with overpopulation and power struggles, and then there's Battle School, orbiting somewhere out there in deep space. The way Card builds this world, you're fully immersed in a society that's both futuristic and disturbingly recognizable. You get why they're scared, why they'd go to such extremes, but at the same time, you're like, these are kids, what are you doing? All right, I won't spoil it, but I gotta mention the twist at the end because it's one of the best gut punches in sci-fi literature. Just when you think you know what's going on, bam! Card hits you with a reveal that flips everything on its head. Suddenly, everything Ender's gone through, every decision he's made, it all comes together, and it's like a punch to the gut. You close the book and just sit there like, wow, did that just happen? This book isn't all sunshine and rainbows. If you're looking for a feel-good hero story, Ender's Game is not that. This is a brutal look at what it takes to survive, and it doesn't shy away from tough questions. It's dark, it's intense, and it's got a few moments that'll make you uncomfortable, especially knowing it's all about kids in warfare. But if you like military sci-fi that makes you think, that makes you feel, this book is an absolute must. Bottom line, Ender's Game is a classic for a reason. It's one part sci-fi action, one part psychological thriller, and it's all wrapped up in this intense moral dilemma. Ender Wiggin is one of the most complex characters out there, and Card puts him through the ringer. You're rooting for him, you're fearing for him, and by the end, you're left questioning everything right along with him. This isn't just a book that entertains. It challenges you. It asks tough questions about leadership, sacrifice, and the price of survival. And what really makes it unforgettable is how deeply personal it feels. You're not just reading about Ender's journey, you're living it. Every triumph, every mistake, every crushing revelation. If you're into deep, thought-provoking sci-fi with a touch of action and a heavy dose of moral complexity, Ender's Game is 100% worth your time. And yeah, it's a classic for a reason. It'll stick with you long after you've turned the last page. So, have you read Ender's Game? What did you think of Ender's journey? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's get a discussion going. And as always, if you like this review, hit that thumbs up, subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Burn bright and burn enough.